Interesting. Beautiful. Beautiful. Friday. Is it really Friday today? I don't even know. Yeah. What is it that I'm doing? Well. Where's this thing going this morning? Another beautiful Monday morning. Should I say Monday? I'm losing it. I mean Friday. It's that day, Friday. Could you believe it? It's almost the end of the year. Almost the end of the year. Cannot even believe this. It's almost the end of the year. In the making. Yep, end of the year is coming. Oh, everything is intact this morning. I'm loving this. Everything is actually intact this morning. I wonder what's been going on with this thing. Oops. Gotta love technology. Friday. This beautiful Friday. Look at that sky, the cloud. I was actually thinking of something this morning while I was, shall I say, doing my push-ups and stretching my body. Because I developed this new formula in my yoga regime before I get into any pose, I go to at least 10 to 12 push-ups. And the goal is to be able to do at least 50 push-ups every single pose. Jojo. I like that. And so I realized those things has been making my whole yoga route a little longer. But I know I can get it down to 4 hours to where I'll be able to do 400 push-ups in that 4 hours with that yoga. So I sort of started to see things, because when the body begins to get stronger, you see things, you realize you're doing things a lot quicker. Yes, peace, Jojo. How you doing, brother? This is why I slow down so that I could get involved and, respond back to the comment. Yeah, it's peaceful out here. And as I begin my regime this morning, as usual, Keith, good morning. And I come to realize that, wow, a lot of time, what is happening with my human being counterpart, my brothers and sisters from all over the world, because now I'm fully convinced that we're all connected in the same way. We vibrate on this energy, and all you have to do is just look at the difference in the morning time, and I'm talking about during the daytime. You see the rush hour when there's a lot of people, and when you go back to that same spot in the nighttime, the quietness that is there is a different energy. Look at that cloud. Absolutely a different energy when you go out there in the morning. Maybe around 2 o'clock, 12 hours higher is 20 hours means we just kind of just have this energy that we don't realize. It's funny where that energy is coming from. Right now. Actually coming from my right side, I can see it. And sometimes when I'm doing the movement, because I literally have to slow down and just walk. And that's another part of the meditation, because it allows me to keep things in motion. So today I'm gonna get another 17 miles in today. Been doing 17 miles every day, and I will just jog. It's not even a run anymore, because my goal is to always not feel tired and not sweat. So the way I land my feet, the relaxation, the breathing techniques, all of it has something to do with the way I pull my feet off the floor, the way I let gravity land me. All those things comes into play. So what I realized when I was on that mat today is, when you are pondering about something, there's nothing wrong with feeling a certain way, because in our culture we've been put into fear that we're not supposed to think a certain way. And especially when we use this two verbal language that we like to use a lot, called positive, you gotta think positive, you gotta think you can't think negative. So what it does to a lot of people, anytime something like that comes into mind, they get really afraid of sitting down with their own emotion. It is really funny, because I've been doing a lot of reading, like I always do anyway. And I'm debating back and forth with these yogis in my book. So early morning I'm doing push-ups. So every time I get to 100 push-ups, I sit on the floor, read the book. So that's what I've been doing. I make sure I get to 100 push-ups, get into the yoga pose. When I hit 100, I sit on the floor, look at that beautiful sky. Sit on the floor, read the book. And I've just been debating in my head, and I'm thinking, it's very interesting the way people think. And I started to realize that I think this whole thing called consciousness, they all have a question mark to it. There's just some things that the brain is just so unique, is you ask that question, how do you know? So when we've been taught not to think a certain way, and when we think that things that we call negative, which the yogis might try to make like the word attachment or whatever it is. So we get afraid when we think of things that we're not supposed to think of. We get really afraid. So what that has done to a lot of people, we don't like to sit with our emotions. We don't know how to just sit with that emotion, that, because emotional pain sometimes can be a little tough. Look at that beautiful side. So we don't really understand sitting down with that emotion. But the thing is, anytime you're having thoughts, when you're angry, you sit with the anger. Try it. Sit with the anger for like 20 minutes, stretching your body, doing push-ups. I kid you not, that anger will disappear. We are very good at running away from ourselves. And that's okay too, because a lot of times we don't realize how smart we all are in this thing called clothes, which I call the uniforms. So we get really afraid of our own thoughts, which is okay. But the thing is, those thoughts need to be sat with once in a while. To just sit down there and deal with it. If you brought tears, shed the tears. Yeah. And trust me, the roof ain't gonna tell anybody, so I do it too, do all of this. Because the roof just will not tell anybody. The roof, they keep a good secret. Your buildings, the walls, your doors in your room, they keep a good secret. I have never known a wall that goes and tell your friend or your neighbor that, I saw him cry last night. No, they're very good at, they really understand. So sometimes, to my left over here again, it is very wise to sit with our emotions. No matter how bad it is, it is very wise to write how we feel down. I have a thing that I do every morning where I write with my left hand, my opposite hand. So what I've done during that process is for some reason I've managed to balance both sides of my brain, because a lot of the time when you truly look at it, everything that we do is all based on our brain and our mind. And the brain and the mind that drives everything, we do not take time to actually exercise it or listen to it. We prioritize our thinking based on what somebody else is saying. I'm not saying they're not giving good advice, but sometimes it is good to actually seek that same advice that you seek from others. Seek it from your own brain, and you'll be really amazed, because that's where that God lays inside of you. A lot of people, when they hear the word God, higher self, whatever you want to call it, we literally think that thing is outside of us. But truly and truly, those things to tap into is just like telling somebody that has never run 100 miles before to go and run one. That's just the difference. And I think these things, the exercising part of it is all there. So when I'm thinking about all these things in the morning, I'm sort of just contemplating, I go through my anger stage. And by the time I'm done, I'm always smiling, like, whatever. And my favorite word is to the biscuit with it. And I'm sure for people that know, that like to cuss a lot, they say something else. I do once in a while, but I limit my cuss word. Maybe I might cuss maybe like twice a day, and that is when I didn't catch myself and I'm like, biscuit. But my favorite word is to the biscuit with it. Like, mother biscuit. And it's really funny because I try to use this word, because I've realized the word that comes out of the cuss word is so powerful that the vibration that it comes out with, it affects you. So that's what I was thinking of this morning. Look at that size of that field and the faraway lands of the gods. So basically today, sit with your own thoughts. Don't be afraid of sharing how you feel with yourself. Being afraid to tell yourself how you feel, sometimes it's just not good for our whole being. And what is even so funny is, there was a time I think, oh yeah, the yogis has the answer, that this guy's the answer. No, it's the Bible. No, it's the Quran. And I realized that at the end of the day, there is something greater in this mind and brain of ours. But what those books have done for me, they've allowed me to think beyond. It is funny because the things that really matter, that used to matter to me, don't matter anymore. I'm like, biscuit. I see why my biscuit don't have no friends. I'm not thinking like before anymore. And that's okay too. So today, being that this time next week, oh, look at those bears. Hey, how you doing, bears? They're flying away. This time next week will be Christmas or whatever it is. Yes, happy Christmas. It is that time of the year to give love. Yeah. Listen to somebody, share your love. Let me read this. You put chains on yourself when you don't listen to your inner spirit. Yes, 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 you do. Totally agree with you, brother Jojo. And I think that's the, I won't call it a problem. It's because we all don't, certain people just don't know. Because when we are being bombarded with, you gotta think negative, you gotta think positive all the time, you gotta think positive all the time, you gotta think positive all the time. So what it does, anytime something negative comes into the mind, we get so afraid and we don't want to talk about it with it. And those things has led to a lot of things for different people. And for me, when I see people suffering in pain, it made me realize I need to be more grateful, because there's nothing like emotional pain. It is a gift to be able to control one's feelings, one's emotion. For me, for many years now, that has been something that I've been gifted with. I don't know how. And it makes me more compassion towards others. Because being able to control that emotion, because those emotional pains, because I sat with my emotional pains also, sometimes can feel like, oh, but when that time goes by, there is a big relief. So for me, I'm just so grateful that I can take what many will see as shame. I look at it in a positive manner. The reason why I'm probably still running more miles is probably because of a family, because the fact that none of them liked it, they talk trash about they talk biscuit about my running. So every time they say something bad, or you don't do this, your life is this, it's always a reminder, okay, extra 2 miles. That's what I've done. By the time I realize, every time there's something that, you're like, and especially in my African culture, it's like, every time I look at it, it's like we're having a big meeting, and, chats, and it's my turn to talk, and look in my eyes. So, how are you? I said, yes, I'm well, man. How is the children and the wife? And that moment, everybody just keep quiet, because everybody's been talking about, the wives are good, nice job, this. And when it comes to my turn, and they say, how's the children and the wife? And I say, well, the wife left and they're with their mothers. And everybody's voice, you could just see their face just change. And I'm looking at them laughing my head off. I kind of like it, because I'm like, excuse my friend, biscuit. But what I've noticed is, then I will hear that my elders start praying. God is going to provide you with another wife in Jesus' name. Yes, another wife is coming. And I usually look around me and see if Jesus brought that one. I'm going to leave that alone. And I look at it, it's so hilarious. But the thing is, I truly love the way my life is. I would like to change certain things, but the things that I get to do every day, I would never, ever change it for the world. It's like I have to argue back and forth with my elders when I speak to my African families get together. Oh, only you, no wife, no good job. What is the matter with you? And every time that conversation comes, to me, it means another extra 4 miles. And I want to say thank you to that. Yeah. Let me read this. Yeah. And those are the things about this whole meditation and running. Those are the things that I always do it, because I never looked into someone else's watch. I've done that before, and that was when I was playing pro soccer. I listened to everybody. I did all the dumb biscuit that they tell me to do. And when that didn't go my way, I promised myself I'm always gonna listen to my inner being. And that's what I've done in the last 14 to 12 years. And it has cost me most of my friends, but I'm okay with it. So I'm just gonna say, listen to your inner being. Sit with your own emotion. It's Friday. Christmas is coming. Oh, it got cold over here this round. Oh, my biscuit, it was warm over there. Christmas is coming. And hang tight with your family and just celebrate. Yeah. And I keep saying, give a gift of love and listen in here. And I'm going to say happy Friday. Let me go ahead and finish this easy 17 miles. Start moving again, and I'm gonna say one love.